pet builds are strong but lazy.
So let it be written. So let it be done.
Hello fellow Titan Quest fans. This build is lazy because others do all the work. We got two of the strongest pets, the Core Dweller and the Automaton. They are busting their balls and hustling, while we sit back and watch them do our dirty work. To speed up the killing process, we drop some Sentry Guns lazily and they shoot the enemies to death. Our character is some sort of goblin, maybe he's just green with envy on other more mobile builds. Over are the days where we teleported across the map. Now we are some goblin ogre kind of dude that is slow and lazy as hell, but his summons are super strong to make up for it. We deal insane damage through our summons, but also our sentry guns pepper the enemies with bolts. The build is up there with the highest damage dealing builds, and maybe summons are going to be nerfed in the future, but as it stands, this build instantly deletes mobs and bosses. It's insane that many other builds have to work really hard to achieve the same result. The damage is incredibly high and the build doesn't require many items. You don't need to inherit any items. Let's look into our two workhorses in detail. Although we are the lazy pet master, our pets do all the work, so they deserve a short period in the spotlight. We first got the iconic Core Dweller of Earth. This pet is very strong and durable. There's not too much to say about the Core Dweller, he just runs to the enemies and claps them to death. Same goes for the Automaton. The pets attack enemies on their own and they are drawing a bit of aggro. Our pets have active abilities, but those come much later, when the build is leveled up quite a bit. Now I know how a boss who's exploiting his employees must feel. Others are busting their balls daily, while they reap little to no rewards. The only reward there is the gift that they can continue to work forever. We, however, oversee the process and give a few orders. Then we make it look like we accomplished everything by ourselves. Maybe how the build works is a lesson in life for me. Don't work yourself into the ground, let others roll up their sleeves and get to work, while you claim the rewards. You get the same or even better results than somebody who is honest and working hard, like some other fair builds. Life is unfair, I guess. You can even play the build with just one hand, while you lazily are on your phone or eating with the other hand. We skill all the summon damage bonuses. These scale our pet's damage, but also improve our sentry gun. The sentry is not to be underestimated. Later on, just one bolt can crit for 25k damage. With the build introduction out of the way, we can proceed with the pros and cons. As for the pros, the build has very good kill speed. You kill both mobs and bosses incredibly fast. You level up extremely fast and easily. The PetForce build does not require any specific items. A playthrough without farming got me all the items that the build needs. The build is perfect for the more laid-back player that can't be bothered to play a build that is hard to play with many active abilities. As for the cons, there is just the lack of mobility. Let's continue with the abilities, attributes and items. Take note that I show you the abilities first that have the highest priority. I recommend starting with Forge Mastery. You can get the first few level ups with the Blade Trap. Switch to the Sentry Gun as soon as possible. At tier 3 we can skill the Automaton, max out enhanced speed and put 3 out of 5 in enhanced damage. Later you should also skill the Fire Attachment, which is a skill that you can activate at will. It deals fire AoE damage. We skill the Sentry at the same time, so let's take a look at it. My philosophy for this device is that we have so many damage scalers in both passives and items that we focus on more activations and activation speed. Max out Strong Start, Burnout and 4 out of 5 in increased activations. That way the first shots deal the most damage. Strong start makes our first shots hit really hard, because the more activations still remain, the more damage the sentry puts out. This configuration becomes extremely strong later on, when we reach tier 4 or Forge. Here we can get stuff that enables the sentry to have a chance at double activations. This is where the sentry really shines. More activations lead to a higher damage. Also, a higher number of bolts fired leads to more crits that happen. The sentry is so strong that the build can function properly without any summons, just the devices would be enough. After you get Forged to tier 3, you should get Earth to tier 2 for the Core Dweller. Max out enhanced speed and damage. Also use Slam. This results in a double damage AoE attack every third hit that the Core Dweller does. We don't need any health bonuses here, we got some good passives later on for that. If your summons die a lot during early game, you can go for 1 or 2 points in enhanced health. Each bonus that we skill reserves more energy. At some point you level up your summons so much that the reserved energy exceeds your energy pool. This usually happens when you have both summons at level 11. The only way to mitigate this is to increase your energy pool with items. You can use the charm Necrotic Bones on your jewelry to increase your energy pool. I put a Necrotic Bones on each piece of jewelry. You can and should also put a few points in conservation in your auras. Earth enchantment is good here. Go for 2 in conservation, 4 out of 5 in earth enchantment. This one increases our summons damage as well, because summons count as allies. Later on I also maxed fire imbuement, so that my summons also deal fire damage. The Forge aura at tier 4 is also very important for our sentry. Go 4 out of 5 in conservation, so that you can keep up all your sustained skills. Max out device double activation. You will notice a considerable boost in your sentry's performance. Put just 1 point in Ring of Flame to have a little speed boost. With the last points we skill Force Field. This is nice to take down bosses a few seconds faster than normal. Max out Fragile to have the enemies take more damage. Now we are looking at the passives. Again, the order of where I go over the passives is the priority that you should have them skilled. Go for 6 points in Salvager and go for summon damage. This increases your summons damage when you collect divine cores, which we do all the time. Later on you max that passive and also skill maximum divine cores. Forged Legion is the most important passive and summon damage scaler. Go for Minion Master and summon crit chance. The next best scaler is Earth Mastery's Earth Invoker. Go for summon damage and summon health and armor. The next passive that needs to be maxed is Improved Devices. Go for activations and double activation chance. Now that we have a good double activation chance, we can go for the next passive, Expert Blueprints. This one improved our sentry only. Go for activation speed and device damage. I also skilled 6 points in Curio Collector to have Divine Core Generator, just so that I always can cast sentries, even when there's no metal. Trust me, it is really awkward when your summons are dead and to top it all off, you run out of metal. Luckily, this happened just once or twice for me. The next passive to skill is Igneous Power, to scale the summon's fire damage. The most important thing about the passive is the feat Summons Damage, which gives another 40% damage increase against burning enemies. How do we make them burn? With the skills that we can activate at will for our summons. One of those is Fissure. Go for Core Dweller command, then skill Lava Fissure. Additional fissures and 1 point in enhanced damage. With the click of the Core Dweller in our abilities, the guy casts the fissure. We have to aim the spell for the Core Dweller. All the active abilities can be bound to the mouse buttons, so that we can play in the most lazy fashion possible. With the rest of the passives we bolster our summon's defenses. Fortified Construction for the health feats. Sturdy armor for armor and summon health. Our core skills do not get any attention here. It would be extremely good to get some capacity increase for summon skills or some bonus to forge passives, because we use so many of those. The attribute point distribution is super easy here. Just dump all the points into might, so that you can use the gear as soon as possible. Much good gear that we aim for has a fitness or might requirement. As soon as we have enough points, dump the rest into vigor. We do not attack enemies ourselves anyway, so there's absolutely no point in putting more attribute points than needed in anything else than vigor. The item that I first used was the ceremonial plate, a shield that gives insane summon bonuses. Later on, I greedily switched that out for more summon damage effects, although the +1 capacity for summon actives is not bad. I decided to go for dual wield, with both weapons giving a good bonus to our summons damage. The advantage of using two weapons is that you can craft both weapons with relics and charms. Use the charm Tortured Soul on your one weapon and the relic Essence of the Courage of Theseus on the other. The latter gives a nice global bonus to summons, but also another damage increase when enemies died. This is good against mobs or bosses that spawn mobs. Both weapons just have the highest summon damage that I could find. Your arm armor is important. You need some good summon bonus and also use another Tortured Soul. The ideal item has both summons damage and activations on there. You want to have an amulet with at least summon damage and all speed bonus. You can roll for one more, for example summon resistances. The rings also need at least summon damage, all the other stats are neglectable. The summon resistance bonus is a nice to have, and not a necessity. Shoulders and chest armor need some random defensive summon stat. Use some random helmet, but you need the charm mechanical parts on there to boost your sentry damage. I use my usual maximum movement boots. You can acquire those by doing some boss runs. Every now and then you will get boots with both movement speed and movement skill cooldown. I recommend health potions with maximum charges. Energy potions don't matter at all, because we don't need energy. I recommend using the Hippocampus Scapula as a swap weapon. Use that in areas where you are not bothered by monsters, to get around the map a little faster at least. Now we reached the strategy segment, where I recommend the build order and playstyle. During the ability section I already mentioned on what to skill first. Here's a quick breakdown. Skill your Sentry, Automaton and then Core Dweller. I just increased all three of them little by little until they were maxed out. Get the tier 1 Forge passive first as a summon damage boost. Then prioritize the passive scalars that increase the summons damage. Later go into the defensive buffs for summons. You start maxing out Fissure around level 42. Once it is maxed out, you can skill the Earth passive that deals more damage to burning enemies. Enemies only burn if you spam your summon fire abilities. The playstyle is also very straightforward. Stay back, avoid direct confrontations, dodge out of the way and use the barrier if you get attacked. Spam your sentries all the time. If a sentry runs out of shots, put down the next immediately. Remember, the sentry deals the most damage at the beginning of its life. If you roll for double activations during the first shots, the sentry deals insane damage. You need some energy management as I mentioned earlier. There are affixes on gear that give flat energy or free energy reserve. The easiest way is to acquire necrotic bones from skeletons and use that on your rings and amulet. Also use conservation in your auras and you should be able to use the sustain skills. So, what do you think of the PetForce build? I was shocked at how easy it is to build and play with the results that you get. Insane damage and survivability. In any case, thank you for watching and I'll see you in the next one.